Stitches and Sundries Fiber Podcast, number 9. Yes, number 9.
We've been doing this now since...
We started in July?
Did we start in July?
Or August. August, I think.
Oh, it's not been that long then. Daggone. I thought it'd been way longer.
Half a year.
this year just feels like a decade. So.
I don't know. Maybe we started in June. I don't remember. Anyway, we've been here for a bit.
Just a little.
And we're here to bring you knitting. I forgot for a minute. I'm like, cross stitch? No. Knitting. Crochet.
Yarn.
Fibery tasty goodness.
Yeah. Tasty goodness.
Tasty yarn. Nom, nom, nom. This is me, guys. So, first, Merry Christmas. Yay.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Kwanzaa. I think Hanukkah's over now.
Hanukkah is over, I think.
So.
Anyway, we're here to bring you all the fun stuff. I have some finishes, but first...
I have nothing.
Before we get to that, we're going to do some gifts.
Because we got presents for each other.
Presents! Oh, I lifted that way too. Let me show you guys presents. So, it's been, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that. Whatever it's been. So we've been preparing for Christmas and we got each other little gifts. So, some stuff to show you. I will start. Look at this. Adorable. Can you see him there? Look at him. Like, he's an ornament. He's like a little alpaca. He's got some crazy ear tassels.
Yes. Beautiful.
Might be a llama. I don't know. Fluffy little guy. And he's a little ornament. Look at him dangle. Look at his little saddle. He's really cute. I hope I held that still long enough that that could be our YouTube cover.
Oh, I hope so.
So, he's adorable, and I love him, and I can't wait to put him on my Christmas tree. Which my dog knocked over last night. I woke up this morning and my tree, we have a tiny tree in our bedroom. It's flipped over on its side, leaning on my yarn rack. All the ornaments stayed on it somehow.
Hey,
magic.
That's good.
But
our cats have used the present pile as, like, fortifications for them to fight around.
Oh, that's
They're good about not touching the tree itself, but the presents have become, like, an obstacle course. So, I got... I'll show this first. These beautiful new earrings.
Who got you those earrings?
Devynn got me these earrings. These are from a local shop in our little hometown called, I think it's Crave & Co.
Crave & Co, yeah.
And they're super cute.
Jean and Olive is also part of their, like, it's all in that.
It's all in that one little building.
Yeah.
But I love earrings. I collect earrings. And so, of course, somebody that knows me and is my best friend in the whole world gets me beautiful earrings. So
Teal. Teal is a color of hers.
Teal is a color of mine. I'm wearing green eyeshadow today, so I was like, hey, they're going on. They're going on right now. What the hell? Let me just fix my makeup for a second, guys. Like, let me just deal with this shit. We just had the conversation of how while we put ourselves together really well, we're actually just trash. So
here we are, just being trash people. Well, I got something else fun. So let me hold it up. Let me get my fingers out of the way and hold it up so you guys can see that. It's an adorable little sheepy.
It's a little black sheep skizzers.
Yeah, so this will be great for snipping off my little ends. And also stabbing Jason.
That's
probably good. He's gonna love you.
I got those. What was the place I got those from?
Were they the dog place?
Yes.
Something. I have the tags. Hang on. Let me get the tags out. Doodle Dog Designs.
Yeah, Doodle Dog Designs.
Here, I'll hold this up.
They have primitives and stitchy stuff and fiber goods. Super cool little place. Yeah. And I have another gift for you that's just like the mail has been. Everybody knows what the mail's been like. And so at last minute, I'm like, I'm not going to get that in time. I better order something else. And then I saw little black sheep scissors and I was like, who loves sheepies?
I love sheepies.
Who loves yarn and crafting? So, and Scissors are always useful.
Scissors are always useful, and I'm not really good at keeping mine, like, you know how you have a place for everything?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so listen, I'm not gonna lie. I have, like, dog cutting scissors, and then I have fabric only scissors, and then I have the scissors that cross that line, that started out as stitchy related scissors, and then my boyfriend decided, let me cut Casper's mangly manny grandpa toe hair. I swear, this dog, he has the hairiest feet, and so we have to cut his toe hair off so he doesn't get those little snow clumps. Anyway, so Jason often steals my, like, scissors like these. He will want to use it because it is very nice to get in the between the toes. And I'll be like, no, these are my stitchy scissors.
Yeah.
I stab you with them for using them on the dog toes. But anyway, so I will hide these from him, and I will love him. He's such a weirdo.
So, next one, I'm going to do these two together just because they make sense to do together, is some beautiful yarn. I mean, how cool is this? Love this. This is Yarn Bees Glowing in Finch Feather. And I mean, how great are those colors? And what you said, this was fantastic for mosaic crochet.
Yeah,
I've been craving to do some mosaic crochet.
I've seen some, like, especially like when it's got kind of like the design I'll show you guys later in my Spark cardigan that's knit, but it's got like peaks. Like your lower peaks could be like, I don't know, you'll start out green and then it'll fade. It'll almost have like a gradient sort of. It'll look really cool.
Yes, yes. And I've been talking about wanting to do some mosaic crochet, so now she got me 3 skeins of this, which is perfect to do an awesome project, so yes. And then this one kind of is similar. This is also a Yarn Bee cake. This is called Rainbow Rhapsody. And I think supposedly one cake can do a nice little wrap. And I mean, also,
look at that.
My colors. I love these. How can all colors be my colors?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So I am super looking forward to finding out what kind of fun stuff I can do with this. And I've talked about doing a something with a fine weight yarn. So yarny goodness. We love it.
I'll show you. So I have, this is from Tesla
Baby on
Tesla
Etsy.
Baby.
I shop on Etsy way too much. We know this.
You're so good at finding cool things. I like suck at shopping. But look at these are little needle minders. And there's different colors. And they're matching ones. I got some glitter on that. It's probably from my tissue paper. Look at that. They just go on the tips of your needles because, I mean, have you guys seen any of our episodes? Like, I drop stitches in every episode because I just jam-pack stitches on needles that are, or on cables that are quite obviously too short for the project. So Lauren thought she'd try to save our podcast.
I thought, well, as much as you travel with your knitting, just throwing it in a bag and hoping for the best, like just put a cork on the end of it, basically.
Yeah.
And those are little, they're like squishy, not resin, what's the word for this? Silicone things. So they'll stretch to fit a variety of sizes of needles.
Yeah.
And they're not going anywhere.
And this little card came with the Tesla package. Don't forget to be awesome, grateful, brave, strong, and kind.
Which, I mean, that's a great message any day.
Yeah, that's really cute. And I'm going to show this in this episode. I don't care.
Okay.
You got it for me. It's a needle minder. So, because this is our crochet podcast, you might not know this, guys, but this is used for cross stitch, and it's a magnet, which, just drop that thing. I should have remembered what store this was from.
This one is, I saw it on the Stony Creek website when I was ordering some other stuff and was like, Devynn only has one needle minder. She'll need another. And it's a sheep. And Devynn and farm animals.
Cows.
Like someday she will own a farm and I will get to have a turkey there and it will be great. And
I want a cow.
this magnet, man, is that going to hold? Yeah. This
It
magnet
is strong.
Strong. It's not going anywhere.
Anyway, so that's just to hold my needle on my cross stitch.
And this is a little
And I didn't get the name of the shop. I just threw the tag on the form.
It's Stony Creek.
Oh, Stony Creek. Okay. You did say that. And I'm just blabbering. So anyway, those are my little awesome gifts.
I have one more little awesome gift.
Guys. It's just going to be a feature of our episode.
Blah. So this, gorgeous. I think Devynn is trying to tell me that I need to crochet more, that I need to do more yarny projects. So this one is by Pandia's Jewels. What's your name?
Nimruz. She's Nimruz on Instagram.
Yes.
And she does some really awesome dye combinations. Look at that.
Everything about this. This is called the Toad Familiar, which, yes.
This was a Halloween special.
And, I mean, if you're going to shop for me, shop around Halloween.
It is 400 and some yards of fingering weight. It is a one-of-a-kind skein, so you will not be able to find a second of it, but I just thought that that was very similar to, I think we were in Hobby Lobby and you pointed out a color and I'm like, I have something that's way better and just is just sitting in my stash that I haven't used and I've struggled to find a use for. But I thought if you love the color, maybe you will enjoy it more than I have.
I do love that color. I think one thing I really want to do, all
right, guys, I'm gonna put
especially with this podcast, is because I do struggle with coordinating colors, and I struggle with, like, I'll say I want to do a project, but I don't know what I want to do, and I have this super awesome resource, and her name is Devynn. And half the time when I get a project started, I have to have her walk me through the entire first process. Like, I have to have help picking out a pattern. I have to have help coordinating colors and picking yarns and putting things together. Like, I'm just not good at that. I don't know why. Cross stitch, I don't have that problem because somebody shows me a finished result and says, this is what your thing's going to look like. Just follow the instructions. And I'm not a good visualizer. I struggle.
So you just... Because with cross stitch, you just get the threads that they say.
And you just get the threads
I mean, you
they
can
say.
do other things,
Yeah,
but it's easier to just get what they
get
say.
what they say, and you're going to get this cool thing at the end.
Yeah.
And, like, what you get at the end is going to be identical to what they say, but you're going to feel like, oh, I did that. It's mine. I made all this stuff. It's great. And everybody that looks at you is going to be like, wow, you put so much work into that. I did. Thanks. Whereas with crochet and knit, people are like, oh, you made that? And I'm like, yeah, I made this cool hat. Isn't that neat? And they're like, my grandma crocheted. It's like, whereas, like, when Devynn puts together beautiful thingies, people are just like, oh,
You guys.
oh. And so I need her to pass that on. And I want to do, like, a special, or at least, like, a chunk of an episode one day where we just do that. We just kind of show the process of walking through starting a project.
That would be really cool.
Yeah,
I would totally be game for that.
Yeah. So we're going to do that someday.
Something that I think would be fun, and this might be going too far and dreaming too big, and maybe I'll never do this because I'm not a brave person, but, like, I struggle sometimes to visualize how to wear my finished projects. But I gotta tell you guys, I think I rocked it today.
You did. Today she walked in looking so cute.
I'm wearing a dress that you can't see, but the bottom of it is blue. Let me hold this up. And we won't talk about that. The bottom is blue.
Oh, but it's a Hogwarts dress. I mean, that's super cute.
Yeah.
It's got her...
It's from Torrid.
Yes.
And it's all blue and matchy-matchy, which is the easiest part for me. Like, I pick a color and then I just go all the way with that color. So my dress has the blue skirt, the top is black, and then I have this, which the whole time I was knitting it, it's like tropical. I made it winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I made it winter.
Absolutely.
I feel really awesome in this outfit with my little finish, which I should show and maybe talk about for a minute.
Yeah. So now we're actually on to the podcast.
Yeah, here we go, guys. So I'm going to take it off, which, I'll talk about this guy. I bought this earlier this year with the virtual Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. This is my shawl cuff that is by Shutterfly. And it is a faux leather little bracelet with snaps. And this one had this little earth charm. And I think, like, this particular one, money from it went to some environmental thing that I know nothing about, but I kind of vaguely remember that. It was in May. Give me credit for not remembering things. So I'll take this off. And this shawl. I have not washed and blocked this. It will grow when I do that. I've literally woven ends this morning, so.
But I mean, that's a good. I mean, it's a medium-sized shawl.
It is
medium
a nice,
to small, but it is the perfect size to just like be a little shoulderlet. Like
it is, yeah. And I will tell you, because I'm a trash person, you see these bra straps right here? You don't see that when I'm wearing it. You don't see that.
That's called styling.
It is. So. Anyway, the yarn I used in this, or the pattern, I think I should start there. So the pattern is the Rainy Day Shawl by Rachey Newin. The yarn I bought from McWalker Yarns.
Yarn is what makes these.
Yes. And it is Katia Infinity Shawl in the color 312, which might actually have a name and might be Seafoam, but don't quote me on that. But the number is 312, and I know that for a fact. So, just hold it up and, a little bit. Oh. So, anyway, I love this shawl. The yarn is 100% merino, non-superwash. It is pretty much entirely double crochet. This is my first big crochet project. I've done a wall hanging, which we featured on our podcast at one point. And then this. And I made one hat one time, but it came out weird. So.
But you wanted a simple thing.
I did want something that was a very simplistic style pattern to highlight these colors. And I think I picked a really good one. This is, it's pretty much double crochet the whole way. It's just, there's increases to make these holes, and then just to make that triangle shape, so you start up here, and you just go down in like a triangular shape, and it is really perfect. And you can wear it like this, which I have done, but I also am really digging where the long point is kind of over on my side, and this arm comes over this way, and it's really hard to adjust it while you're sitting down, which most of you should know. But the thing that makes this is the shawl cuff keeps it from falling off of me, which I struggle with most shawls, is they fall off. But I tell you, it's cold today and snowy, and I have not worn a coat. I brought one, but I did not wear it because this shawl is going over my arm, and it's pretty much keeping me warm. Right? Nice. And this is fingering weight. I should have said that too. I use fingering weight, and the skein I used had 600 yards in it. Maybe 650, something like that. The pattern was a style of pattern where you just go until you're out of yarn. Yeah. You don't need, because you're just increasing, and you can just keep going until it's really big. And she has some samples of it knit with 1,000 yards, which look beautiful. This is the perfect size at 650. I think if you only had like a single skein of fingering weight, which is usually around the 400 range, that you would struggle to get a good size out of that. 600, we're good. Yeah. 800 might be really nice. 1,000 is going to be big.
Yeah. I think I remember you saying like the pattern recommended like no less than 500 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Would be like too small.
Yeah, a 400. Most fingering weight skeins come in 400 yards, and it'd be too small.
I am with you, and one of the reasons we've talked about this a little bit before. One of the reasons I love magazines, Instagram, is I hate when people are like, "This is my pattern," and they just like show it like on a block of wood, and you're like, "I like your pattern. I have no idea how to wear it, what to wear it with, how I would like how it looks on a body, especially like okay, this
I've got a fat lumpy body, guys.
I've got a lumpy body. And like today, this sweatshirt, which is just a sweatshirt, is laying super weird. And if like your sweater, as soon as you put boobs under it, looks super weird. I want to know that, right?
Yeah.
I want to know what it looks like with a woman's body underneath it, or a man's body, or like, because, you know, I have sloping shoulders. I might have to, like you said, shawls don't lay exactly right on me. A little shawl cuff. Oh, that's how you style that. Perfect. I got it. I can't visualize these things. My brain is literally dead inside. So.
And these things from Shutterfly, very affordable. I have seen shawl cuffs that are made from real leather that just like, oh my god, they're a nice gift or a nice treat, but you couldn't really have very many. But yeah, Shutterflies are nice. And
is that cork? Is that what they make in their faux leather? That is really cool.
It is a cork styled faux leather, but it is definitely like a faux leathery guy.
I like it.
But I've had it since May, and I've worn it. I use it a lot with my shawls. That I haven't used it with my biggest shawl. Like I have knit the Find Your Fade, which is a massive shawl that I never wear because I struggle so much with it. I think I'm more of a medium shawl kind of person, but I like knitting the big ones. But anyway, I have used this with I have Wildflowers and Honey shawl that I wear it with. I've used it to keep I don't use it with my, what is that one called that I just did? The woodsy one. Forest Path. I don't use it with that just because this is teal blue and that's like a forest green. I need to get a nice brown one. But anyway, that's what I have.
Super cute.
This is my only finish.
I have negative things because my brain died this week. I started my new job and it's just been like, I'm exhausted when I get home. So I had a few little things for our cross stitch podcast, but I just didn't pick up a single hook, yarn ball, nothing. Looked at it, thought about it, said my brain can't count tonight. I also did cookie day.
You did cookie day. You bake 600 plus cookies, so I think you get a free pass on this one. Also, there have been plenty of episodes where I've had like next to nothing to show, so it's my turn to do this. Welcome to
I'm just here to
the Devynn show.
Have weird comments about shit.
So, I will show you a partial finish. I have my first hoe. This is, so in case you don't know, a hoe is the single sock. I have not knit its mate.
That's hilarious. It's an unmarried hoe.
It's an unmarried sock. So,
she's just out there.
This is by Bromfields. It's her free pattern. It's called Sweet Dreams, and it is using chunky weight yarn. I think hers is specifically calls for Lion brand. I used a random red chunky weight yarn that I just had lying around. This sock is a tube sock. It does not have a heel, and it works because it is chunky weight, and it just feels super cozy.
It feels super good.
Like, I put this on and I'm like, man, that's gotta be weird. That's gonna be weird. I was really suspicious. Oh my god, I didn't want to take it off.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
This is our TikTok segment. So anyway, this is my adorable little...
I put it on. I did not want to take it off. I'm like, you got a second one of these that you're giving me? Please?
I'm gonna use this one. So I made a pair that I already gave away. That was in the same yarn, and I did a ribbed cuff. And I gave them to my grandma. I was gonna hold on to them for Christmas because hello, that's like 10, no, it's not even 10 days. It's like 6 days away. So I was gonna hold on to it, and I don't know, I caved and just gave it to her because she said her feet were cold, and I'm like, here you go. I have these in my bag. And I told her that they were socks. I did not tell her that they were slippers, because with socks, she will wear them inside her shoes. This is very slippery. Yeah. There is no grip on these. I've watched a couple YouTube videos with some ideas of how to add grip. There's like, silicone. I actually bought some clear silicone, and I watched this video of you dip your fingers in water, squirt the silicone on here, and because your fingers are wet, you can mush the silicone around, and it won't stick to your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I did not know that. Life hack. If you're ever trying to do the silicone like around the window or something, dip your fingers in water and you can smoosh that stuff around.
So smart.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Somebody knew that. So anyway, I'm going to try that on this test guy and see if that adds some grip, and then I can call them slippers.
Yeah, because you don't want your grandma slipping on the kitchen floor in basically what amounts to ice skates.
Ice skates, yes. They are very slippery on hardwood, which is her whole house. And then I have these that I am doing.
Those socks.
Oh, that's just the toe. I didn't sew it shut yet.
Oh.
So you cast on at the toe. They are knit toe up. I think you do like 12 stitches, and you do a few increases, and then you just go. I am using Lion brand, Wool Ease, Thick and Quick, and I know it's the stripey one, or stripes, but I don't remember like if this particular stripe color has a... Oh, I think it's called Hudson. Maybe.
We'll put it below.
I feel like I looked that up on Ravelry. So anyway, it has been a struggle to get these to be matching. Let me show you.
Why?
Oh, because the stripes and the two different balls of yarn that I'm using don't match.
Oh.
So this one is full of tails that I'm going to have to weave in. And I don't know how that's going to, like... Because I know from experience that weaving in ends on chunky weight yarn often adds, like, a thickness to that area.
Right. Yeah, you can kind of feel it.
And I'm hoping that it's not too uncomfortable on the foot. But we'll see. But they match, which is nice. Because I saw there's a couple people who've knit this yarn into mittens, and the mittens don't match. And that bothers me. So I am literally going along and just cutting out chunks as I go to make sure that they match. And that's easy to do because I'm knitting two at a time. If I wasn't knitting two at a time, it would probably be a pain in the butt. And I'm using this technique that I learned from my Untangled Pearls class that I just took. She taught us how to knit 2 sweater sleeves at a time. So I'm sorry my needles are clanking. There, I got them.
That is so cool, though, that you learned, like, that technique is going to make crafting for gifts and things like that just endlessly easier.
I do knitted pumpkins, and I think I can do 2 pumpkins at a time because I knit a tube and then I seam the ends shut. And I think I can do that now. So
talk to your local yarn store if they haven't offered a class to do that. Yeah. See if that's something they can do, because it is super helpful.
It is very helpful. I also have a book called, it's a sock book, and I forget who it's by, but it's called Toe Up 2 at a Time. I've never read it. I used it, though, to look at bind-offs for socks, because this sock, I think I just did my typical bind-off, which was not as stretchy as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And I used the, I forget the name of the bind-off. I'll link it below. But I used the book to come up with a sock-appropriate bind-off, because you want something that's stretchy, because when this goes on your foot, it's got to stretch over your heel. Yeah. And, like, I have little feet, so that's usually not a problem for me. But, like, Jason could not get his foot in this.
Jesus.
He has, like, he's a size 13.
Mammoth, ma'am.
Yeah, so. Anyway, that's my sock update. I knit socks now.
She did it, guys. She knit socks.
A sock. I said I wasn't going to do socks.
And then everybody's going to be like, well, it's just a tube sock.
I've done stockings.
Do a gusset.
I did that on my stockings. I'm just not doing I'm not fingering weight.
Are you becoming a sock knitter, though, slowly?
I will be a tube sock knitter of chunky weight yarn. Fingering weight socks, I don't know about. That's a project.
What else you got?
Oh, okay. This is a sad update.
Where did you get these bags?
So, my cousin, I feel like she might be going through a life crisis, because she's just giving me all her weird stuff. But I'm like, if you're really not going to use it, I will accept it. So this is a company that she has bought a couple items from, like clothing and stuff. I've never shopped from this company.
But that's a nice canvas bag.
These canvas bags are nice, and she gave them to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll use them as project bags. So here we go.
Oh no. I know what this is.
You do know what this is. So, at the end of our last episode, I talked about the bicycle hat. I took the bicycle hat that I had knit entirely over to my cousin's house and had him try it on because I was suspicious that it was too small.
And I'm there like, no, it'll totally work.
It is indeed too small. Look at the needles. Look at that. So, I'm knitting a new hat. Now, I'm using the same pattern. So it is the, I wrote it down because I can't remember things. Bicycle patterned hat by Heidi Aries. I am going to do most of the modifications that I talked about in the last episode.
You're going to have to add like 14 rows. Because you already added like, what? No, you're going to 20 rows probably.
I'm adding at least 10 in the, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what sections of hat are called, but I'm going to do 2 inches of brim, which the pattern only calls for 8 rows, which is not enough. It's tiny.
It's like a centimeter.
So I might do 3 inches of brim. That way he could fold it up. But we'll see how I feel. Depends on how bored I get with ribbing. This is probably how much she has you knit. I think I have 8 rows here. Yeah, I have 8 rows here. This is how much ribbing she says to do, and then you immediately start a 15-row chart. Immediately start the chart, which is then, this is 8 rows, so 15 is not much more than that, and then you immediately start decreasing. So her hat is not tall enough, but I am going to add.
Is that a hat for a baby? Like, goodness.
She appears to be an adult in the picture. So
sorry. She appears to be an adult.
It is a little bit of a challenge with this pattern, but he really likes this chart. And I think what I'm doing is I'm basically borrowing. I paid for the pattern, so it's not stealing. I am using that chart, but I'm knitting my own hat because I'm going to do like 3 inches of ribbing. 3 inches of ribbing followed by 5 rows before I start the bicycle chart, 15 rows of the chart, and then I think I'm going to do 5 plain gray rows, and then I'm going to do the decreases, and by that point I'm going to judge whether I need to add extra rows between what she calls for decreases, or I might look at another hat pattern to see if I can just use their decreases. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it should just work out. Like this. It'll just work out like this. It'll be a magic hat.
Shapes.
But anyway, it's because the pattern is...
It's just too small.
It's just too small. And I'm knitting this now. Hers is on size 5 needles. And with... worsted weight yarn, I think she was getting... I don't remember what weight yarn. I shouldn't even say that. Anyway, her gauge is... I'm getting gauge. I measured this time. 20 stitches per inch or per 2 inches or 4 inches. I measured it. I don't remember what it was, but I measured it. I was looking at it on the computer. So because I didn't write it down, I don't remember it. It's my defense, guys. But anyway, I double measured this and I checked it 3 times. I actually knit a swatch first out of this gray yarn. And I knit it on size 7 needles, and I got gauge with size 7, and her pattern calls for 5.
I'm confounded by this pattern.
It is a little difficult, but I am using it, and I'm getting
But you paid for the chart.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as I paid for the chart because the chart is
the chart is great.
The chart is good, and it looks nice. It looked nice on the last hat, and it probably does need, like, without adding a whole extra repeat of a whole nother bicycle, which would be a lot. I don't know, like, I think the width of the hat is good. It's 90 stitches. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like the width was fine when I put it on. It just, like, I pulled down and it, like, came to right here on my ears.
Yeah.
And I have a tiny head.
Yeah, and he also has a pretty small head.
But your average person is gonna be like, my ears are basically hanging out.
Yeah, he wanted ears covered, which, I mean, that's what you want with a hat.
That's what you want with a hat.
So, anyway, I'm making all these modifications, and it's gonna work. I knit this last night. I started this last night. It's pretty sad that I did all that math with the gauge, and I don't remember any of it.
It does not stick.
It does not stick. But I did do the gauge swatch, and then I ripped the gauge swatch out and started knitting.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's coming along.
Yeah.
And
and I am doing the ribbing on size 6s, because you usually do the ribbing on 1 to 2 sizes down from what you knit the body of the hat with. So I'm doing it on 6s, and then I'm going to go up to 7s for the chart. And that should be, it should work out. I mean, this looks like a hat, and it feels more comfortable. Like, it doesn't feel that. It's not as stiff as the other one.
Yeah, it's got more give to it.
I knit the other one on 5s. And like I said, I think last time I thought I got gauge, but I, like, misread the gauge. This time I double, triple checked.
Well, that's good.
I just don't remember it because I was doing it.
Yeah, because you don't want to make the hat a third time.
Nope. If it has to happen a third time, I'm going to be out of yarn because the gray ball is getting...
It's getting loose.
It's getting loose.
So you're just going to give that other hat to, like, a baby?
I think I'm going to do what you said. I'm just going to weave in the ends and donate it.
Yeah, some kid will love that.
Somebody will. So that is that hat update. I started the other hat I'm supposed to do for a Christmas knit. That one is in that book, The 60 Quick Knits. We showed it in the last pattern. I started a gauge swatch for it. Unfortunately, I'm really angry about this. I have 3 different black yarns, and none of them are working out for this pattern because I really need I need a slightly thicker but thinner yarn than what I have.
A slightly thicker but thinner than I have. So
like, I have a worsted weight, and then I have a DK, and DK held double is too thick, but DK on its own is too thin, and worsted weight is too thick on its own.
So you need like a light worsted.
It calls for sport, which is above DK. So it's fingering DK and then sport, I think. Isn't that how it goes?
Sport and DK get all mixed up.
I get all mixed up.
And then people call stuff worsted, and then you hold 2 worsted, and one looks like chunky and one looks like fingering.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck is this?
It's a mess to deal with. But I just basically the yarn I have, I've tested a couple times. I'm just like, I'm not getting it. And it's really annoying because the gauge swatch, you have to knit in lace, and I knit all this stuff in lace. I was like frustrated. So I was also doing this very late. So I'm just going to table that hat. We're not getting together for Christmas, and I don't do mail. I'm not mailing it to him.
You'll get it when I see you.
You'll get it
and
when
I won't see you until it's done.
Exactly. that is my thing. So she will get her hat, but I'm gonna focus on the bicycle hat for Jacob because it's easier.
You have the stuff to do it?
I have the stuff to do it, and I don't have to think about it as much.
I mean,
all those modifications, and I don't have to think about it as much as the lace hat.
I'm doing some last minute shopping today. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some yarn. So then I have one more update. This is cool. This is
I love this little thing.
My little bag from a junk store. I love it. So this is my Spark cardigan, which I am a little further than I was last time. I didn't have any color work on it.
No. I think you were only like a little ways through the ribbing too, so you've made significant progress.
I should put needle minders on this because if I drop stitches, where are my needle minders? Here, I got it. What? Yeah, let's decorate them.
I think we need pink.
There we go.
Dread.
I know.
Here. Boom.
Boom.
Instantly safe.
Yeah, so this is, and it's going to roll down because it's stuck in it, but
Look at
This
I
is
love
my
that right
Spark
there.
cardigan. And right here, this is where the steeking will be done. So you guys can actually see that area. And you cut right on, where's my line? This line here. That's where I will be cutting. And it is very important that I don't mess that up throughout the whole body. Like if I have one job, it's to not mess this up. Because then it'll be very difficult and I'll have to drive down to Fredericksburg, Virginia and take it to Untangled Pearls and have them do an operation on my beautiful sweater. But this sweater
I love this.
is so pretty. And this is coming out a little yellowish on the camera. It's definitely a cream color, but not quite yellowy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if we pull back to the
there we
get
go.
the snow in the background.
Yeah, it's much more cream colored.
Yeah,
and
it's very pretty.
Super cute. It's going. This chart was annoying on the sleeves, and it's a little more annoying on the body.
Oh no, so it would be less annoying in bigger form.
It's so the struggle I have is I have tension problems because that's life with color work, and I'm just trying to be extra careful that I don't get any of my. Here's my floats, yo. Look at those floats. Trying to make sure my floats don't get too loose, and I am catching every third stitch. Hopefully that's good enough. I don't know. I mean, that's what she said, the teacher lady.
Yeah, then that's what you do. I know you struggle because you are a loose knitter, so that's got to be a struggle to keep the floats in check.
Yeah.
In control.
Well, because you want to in a way you want to tighten it because you don't want to get loosey goosey, but
right.
Because I have a tendency to be loosey goosey, but then if you tighten it too much, guess what? You end up with puckering, and I have puckering on my beautiful hat, and I don't want puckering on my beautiful sweater. But if it puckers, it'll be handmade, and that's all that matters. It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be beautiful. It's pretty already. It's really coming along.
Yeah. I worked on this immediately after our last episode and haven't touched it since. I think I did 2 days on it. And then I didn't touch it. But that is all of my progress. It's not a whole heck of a lot, but it is definitely coming along. I am tabling the sweater. I was supposed to table this, but it was so close to being finished. I just couldn't help myself. I'm tabling the sweater until I have the Christmas socks done, the Christmas hats done. Jacob's hat will take me one day. I might be able to get it done tomorrow. The socks, surprisingly, a pair of these took one evening.
Love it.
But for whatever reason, the other two that I'm knitting are taking a little longer.
Probably because you're trying to match the rows
matching
and
the
everything.
stupid colors and cutting to cut the colors. But Iron Chip Ball, the ball of yarn is really pretty. It's also falling apart because it's, look at this.
That is a pretty yarn.
This is that Lion brand.
I am thinking, my mind is now just churning on what I can do with this. I'm like
in my sweater, if you did color work in that,
yeah,
it would look really, really cool.
I know. I'm thinking I need something with a neutral.
Yeah.
And
you could do a white, you could do gray, you could do black. A black would really pop.
Black would really pop.
Or dark gray.
I want it to be something where I could do another hat, but I don't want to only use half a skein and then be but I want a big thing, and then I'm oh, I need another skein because I just have it on a hat. I don't know. We'll think about it. I'll think about it. Time to hit Instagram and Ravelry.
Well, so when I bought you that yarn, I honestly thought about getting you just one skein because I know you like to do hats.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well, no, I'll get her 3 skeins and maybe she'll do something bigger.
Yeah.
Because you've been leaning towards sweaters. So
yeah. I'm going to find something.
You will find something.
I will find something.
And you'll be surprised, for my sweater, the yardage that is needed for the color work is, you don't need as much as you think.
Right.
Because, the color work is only going around, well, in the chart, it's going around the whole sweater every time.
Right.
But once I get up to the 1x1 section, there are 2 plain rows for every, I think, 2, for every 3 rows that the pink stuff goes around, there's 2 plain rows where the pink doesn't go around.
Gotcha.
So it does use less yardage than the white.
Makes sense.
Because the white is going around and around and around the whole time.
Right.
I know that's confusing to explain to you guys.
Just basically your color work is going to fade out eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
As it goes up the body.
So anyway, those are all of my updates. This is probably the last time you're going to see us before 2021.
Definitely. So everybody have a wonderful rest of this year, if you can. We are entering into, I'm sure some of you have heard, the 21st, December 21st, all the planets, I think it's Jupiter and Saturn aligned to create the Christmas star, some people have said. So Jupiter and Saturn will be aligned. They will be, it'll look like a large star in the sky. This is the first time this has happened in like 800 years.
Yes.
For it to be aligned on the winter solstice, it's like the first time in 2,000 years or something like that. It is a crazy long time. And it will usher in, I watched the whole thing about it, it will usher in the actual Age of Aquarius, like the song. The Age of Aquarius starts. So it will be an entirely new planetary, like, era. We are washing away all this old garbage. Just get rid of it. New times are starting, fresh, like, just, like, enter into, like, I'm not an astrology person, I'm not a crystals, I was raised by an old hippie, so I do have a little bit of that, but, like, just use that marker to put all of the old garbage aside and start yourself as a fresh new person in a fresh new time.
Positive energies.
Just let it go. We're just gonna release your inner Elsa, let it go, bitch, and let's move forward into a better tomorrow, because I can't take today.
Positivity at its best. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Bye, guys.